Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Wait a second. There may not be sound. Audio. I don't know why the one thing is not working. We'll use that sound. Okay.
Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two
crazy
crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Okay, I want to change something because for some reason that the camera thing isn't showing up, and I really want to use the other camera.
All right.
So, yeah, it's funny. The preview camera is not showing. You see that?
Yeah. I thought I saw it before, but.
Okay.
Well, hello everybody. How is your Thursday going? It's been pretty cold here in Tampa, Florida. I mean, nothing like the rest of the country is having to deal with. But cold for us nonetheless, and a little bit rainy today.
Yep. We just got back from the crew meetup.
Yes.
For today is Someday, Phil and Stacy. So the crew meetup is kind of like, it's like our Mighty Networks.
It is.
But they're paid supporters.
Yeah.
And we got a little chance to hang out with them. And what I love about Phil and Stacy is they're trying to do what we do with community.
Yeah, they're very focused on
community. They are like RVers. They're full-time RVers. But their whole thing is today is Someday. Like, don't put off getting out there, going on a cruise, going camping, going backpacking, going hiking, going, paddleboarding. Don't put it off. Do it today because today is Someday.
Yeah, because a lot of times we would think to ourselves, like, someday, it really was just more of like a pipe dream of like, maybe we'll one day be well enough to enjoy our life.
Right.
And right now, whatever health momentum we gained, like today's a great day to decide, hey, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to put myself out there. This month is all about friendship. And, it's challenging for us too. We were meeting a bunch of new people that we've never met before, and just starting up a conversation with somebody new that can be a little bit scary.
Right.
For us. And it was a really beautiful experience. It was really fun getting to meet some new people. Talk to people who are full-time RVers and what that life is like, and some of the interesting challenges that they've seen. I always like asking people what's like a bad experience you've had. And some people talked about like how they got into a campsite that was the trajectory was hard to get out of. It was just interesting to hear some of the conundrums.
Yeah, and let's face it. We needed to hobnob with the 2 coaches. We got to get on the good side of the coaches because one of them is going to be our coach on RV Unplugged. So, by the way, if you happen to notice, if you move a little bit,
look at how awful this is.
Look at how crappy this furniture is they put in RVs.
It's like a snake that's shedding its skin.
Now, there is a benefit to if you like to peel sunburns.
Look at this.
So yeah, we actually ordered new couches to be delivered to our house.
Yeah, that is pitiful.
So yeah, if you see that, that's what it is. And a lot of people have the problem with RVers. So I did see Tom wants to know, why do we have to share you guys with the campers?
Oh, how sweet.
Well, thank you for that. So listen, for those of you who may be new, maybe you found us because of the RV Unplugged announcement. Here's our quick brief story. We both lost well over 100 pounds. Rachel's lost over 170 pounds. I probably, if I knew the exact number, probably about 120, 130 pounds. We both lost over 100 pounds using the keto lifestyle. We stayed keto because of all the health benefits and how much it makes us feel good. Prior to keto, we lived our life on a couch. We watched movies at home. Except for going out to eat, we didn't leave our house. We didn't do any activities. as we lost weight, we started doing more activities. And then when COVID hit and we were like, we need to get out of this house, we started camping more. I grew up camping. I had gotten Rachel into camping, but she was like, listen, tent camping, Florida, please, no, too hot, you know. So we got an RV and we really discovered how awesome it is to explore everything. That as you get healthy, we need to explore. We need to, it doesn't even have to be camping. Go hiking, discover your local parks, go backpacking, go canoeing, go bicycle riding, but live your life off the couch. And so we started an RV channel and trying to merge the two worlds. And honestly, I'm going to say that has been a success.
It has been such a blessing.
Because we've got some amazing subscribers on Keto that found us, that have gotten healthy because we started an RV channel.
Well,
and vice versa.
And vice versa, because we've met a lot of people who have decided, whether it's camping or not, they've just decided, hey, I've gained some health momentum. I feel good in my body and I want to use my body and do some new things and pursue some new adventures. And we're really hoping that we can be a blessing to people, that if nothing else, people decide I can begin a new adventure at any age, because we did not get mobile until after our kids were grown, you know? And so I'm enjoying what we're able to do now. And I hope more people won't wait, that they will decide like, hey, I'm going to try to do new things right now. And we get so inspired, and it's only in community that we even discover, you know, that there is new things to do. A lot of time, I mean, it's been through this community that we found all kinds of different hobbies, including like 3D printing. I mean, you wouldn't have even known about, like, you know, drones and, you know, some of the different.
I got Chris into FPV. He got me into 3D printing.
But I mean, as some of the adventures and you know, mobility things that we've done, it's been in community where we've kind of brainstormed, what can we do? Like, what can we, you know, what adventure can we go on next?
Right. So if you're new, maybe you haven't heard the announcement. We were invited by Phil and Stacy, or Stacy, who is doing the casting. She contacted us last May and asked us, would we be interested in going on RV Unplugged? And I was like, no, no. And Rachel's like, yes. And I'm like, you hate dry camping. Like, you did it once and we're miserable, right?
But it's something new. It's something like, we're not too old to embark on a new adventure.
And the more we thought about, listen, the grand prize is $25,000. That would be awesome. And we can travel the country.
When we win, because we got to have the attitude of the winner, right? So when we win, we plan on taking that $25,000 and traveling around the country, meeting people and getting to like have meetups all over the country.
After we donate 10%.
Of course, after we donate 10%, then the rest of it is going to be for traveling across the country and getting to do meetups.
Yep. So we decided that this would be a great way to bring more awareness to what happens when you get healthy. So we jumped in and said we were going to do this. It was supposed to be filming in Athens, Texas. And they moved it to Florida, which we're really grateful for. So we're looking for home field advantage. We need some warm weather next week.
We can handle humidity.
We've got about 2.5 weeks of filming. And so during that time, I'm not going to say there won't be lives, but there probably won't be our normal time lives, because we don't know. They're saying it's going to be long filming days, like 12 to 14-hour filming days sometimes. And so what we're going to do is encourage you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, and also get into Mighty Networks, join Mighty Networks, because if we have time, if we come back in the evening and we have time in the RV, and we have enough battery power, which we should. That's the one thing I made sure we have enough of. We're going to just pop in and do lives. There'll be unannounced lives while we're gone. We will have videos coming out over the 2 weeks. Maybe even a couple from within, not revealing what's going on in the show, but just a couple from within. And then as soon as we get done filming, after the second week of February, we'll be back to our normal schedule.
Now, we didn't explain on here, but basically the show that we're going to be on is
Survivor
meets camping. So you're unplugged. We have to earn things like water. To earn things like, you know, the ability to, like, you know, to have electricity if you don't have solar power like we have.
You might have to build a solar system. You might have to empty a black tank. You might have to do a swimming combination. Some of them are going to be physical. Some of them are going to be mental. Some I'm sure are going to be about camping based on last year. Bill and Stacy said they have no idea what the challenges are. They're not even telling them this year.
I anticipate I'm going to be wearing a hat a lot because I don't know like how much showering I'm going to be able to do.
Well, some of the ladies tonight actually showed us like these wipes that have soap in them and you don't even have to rinse off.
Oh.
So they were teaching us about Navy showers and things like that.
If you have any suggestions, please leave it down in the comments of like how we can go for long stretches of time by, conserving water and like all of these things. Because it's going to be a little dicey.
Here's what we got to hope for. If y'all want to help us pray a little bit, we need to pray for a who can eat the most competition because Rachel's got that.
I got that one.
Whose batteries can last the longest in an RV? I think I've got that one with 14,900 watt hours of batteries. Just we don't want running challenges.
I mean, we'll bring our best to it.
Eat a donut challenge because I forfeit on that one.
Right, we can't do that.
I haven't eaten sugar in so long. It's not even about like I'm not eating sugar. It's about I would get violently ill.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right?
We'll
7 years.
I just don't have time for diarrhea this week.
Let's jump to the comments. Sabrina said, as much as I love to camp and be away for weeks at a time, full-time isn't for me. I feel like I need a home base. I would agree.
Same for us.
We've talked about like, oh, how cool would that be? But I want to get home to the kids. I want to have a home base. We get home and then like I'm home for a few weeks. I'm like, I wouldn't mind going back on another trip, but I'm looking at our schedule over the next 2 months. We're not going to be home pretty much until April. And like that's kind of a bummer. Like it's like, oh,
Peyton's growing up.
We're gonna miss her first steps, most likely, So I would agree with you. Sonia has a question.
Hey, Sonia.
When you have a lot of body fat to lose, what should the minimum and maximum percentage of fat in daily macros be? That's a great question. So when I first got started on keto, I thought like you had to look at these macros thing, but back then. Mm-hmm. Keto really focused on eating a lot of fat. And I did very well. Somewhere along the line, it's come out that like fat's bad for you. Like let's eat protein sparing modified fats. Let's lower the fat. If you have body fat, you don't need fat. And the bottom line is that's just not true. You don't need to eat gobs of fat, but you do need to consume fat because the fat is your fuel. Your body wants to use two things for fuel. It wants carbohydrates. It wants to use fat. If you're not consuming carbohydrates, what is your body going to use for fuel if you don't consume fat? Well, stored body fat. However, if you don't give your body a lot of body fat, a lot of dietary fat, after a couple of weeks, it's going to be like,
stalls out.
Hey, I'm not getting any food coming in and I've got food going out. What should I do? Because how long is what I got on me going to last? So it begins slowing down your metabolism. How do I preserve and what I have so that I can stay alive? So your body slows down your metabolism. At that point, you have really only one option. Lower how much you're eating more. And then that'll last for a couple weeks. And then you have one option. Lower what you're going to eat more. And it becomes a thing where you get yourself down to 1,100, 1,200. I see people post all the time. My daily macros are 1,300 calories. You're not eating enough. If you're eating 12 or 1,300 calories a day, you are not eating enough. If you're not losing weight at 12 or 1,300 calories, we got to look at your sleep. We got to look at your stress. We have to look at how long you've been eating 12 or 1,300 calories. Because at that point, the only solution is to eat more food. That's the scary part. You have to reverse your way back up. You got to get yourself back up to 22, 23, 2,400 calories. Stay there for 2 or 3 weeks. And then drop it by a couple of hundred calories. And I don't like calories. We're going to look at grams of fat like you're asking. So our minimum that we always tell everybody should be eating a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day. That is the minimum. That's the minimum amount of protein that anybody, in my personal opinion, based on my research and talking to people, I'm a certified health coach. Nobody can eat grams of protein a day. And your minimum fat should be at least 100 grams of fat. And then you're going to elevate fat from there. If you're eating that, that's even 100 and 100 is not going to be enough food. That's your starting point. Elevate your fat. You want to find where are you maintaining. If you're maintaining at like 1900, maybe drop off maybe 20 grams of fat. Now you're eating just under what your body needs, and then you can keep going for it, and then you can lower a little bit, but eventually you'll have to reverse your way back up.
Well, because we don't stay the same. Right. I mean, we have to kind of think about, like, in all of humankind, there were ebbs and flows in life, right? Like, because we're hunters and gatherers, and so some days the hunt was good, and some days, like, you didn't come home with a big hunt. So you ate lavishly when you could eat, and then, you know, you did have times where you weren't eating as much. Now we live, you know, in a time where you can eat the exact same thing every single day, right? And so, and we kind of want to do that.
We have food at our fingertips.
And we have like timers. So we're like, hey, we want to eat at exactly this time. You know, this is breakfast and this is lunch and this is dinner. But you think maybe, you know, just a couple of generations ago, that's not the way it was. Right. It was like your days would be different. And you would eat when you had time, or you felt like my stomach's grumbling, and, you know, you'd eat something and then you'd move on, you know, with your day. But now sometimes we can get such a close eye on the macros, but we're not really living authentically to how humans were designed to live.
Ancestrally. And I don't mean, when I say ancestrally, I'm not talking about caveman days.
Right.
Okay.
You could just couple
I'm talking
ago.
about 2-3 generations ago in the 1800s, Little House on the Prairie times. Ancestrally, we ate when we came across food. One of my favorite movies is, now that I can't think about it. We'll go Kevin Costner.
Dances with Wolves.
I
thought maybe you were thinking of that.
Dance with Wolves. Think about the scene. They're chasing buffalo. We can't find buffalo. Kevin Costner runs in. I found buffalo. What do? They chase him down. They kill buffalo. They gorge. They dry whatever's left, and then they keep going.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we're designed to eat. One of the worst things that I think a lot of us do on keto is we get into this, I can't eat before 2 o'clock, and they do this intermittent fasting. We did it. It screwed up our metabolism. OMAD is not a great idea for most people, especially women, because the problem with OMAD is you can't get enough food in. There's no way. Most people cannot consume 1,800 to 2,500 calories in a single meal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, especially getting in 100 grams of protein and 100 to 200 grams of fat. It's almost impossible. And you slow down your metabolism. And the more research that I do and studying things from like Dr. Mindy Peltz, like doing a tremendous amount of extended fasting and OMADing and intermittent fasting, it's really bad for especially women and their hormones. Mm-hmm. And those are all things that could screw up your thing. So to answer your question, there's no magic number. It comes down to, you have to experiment on yourself. If you're not eating enough, if you're eating 1,300, 1,400 calories, you need to reverse your way back up, stay there for a little while, and then drop just a little bit.
Yeah.
Ola said Mission Keto will be living in their RV in less than 2 weeks. Yeah, I actually texted Andy something today to help him fix something. Sarah said we had a former church member try to sell us their RV today.
Oh my goodness, what a coincidence.
Well, if you're going to buy an RV, used or new, you need to call a tech and have them check it out. I don't care if that costs you $400 or $500.
It's worth it.
It is worth it. Do not buy an RV without having a certified inspector come and check it. Now, if you happen to be here in Florida, Central Florida area, guess what? We have somebody in our group that is a certified inspector.
Yeah.
And that is Chris Miller.
She's amazing.
Denise said, my husband wants to go see the Salt Flats for our 30th anniversary. We have a friend in Washington, Utah, and would allow a visit to Keto Chow.
How fun. That is awesome.
Joanna bought a season pass to her local park, which has hiking trails and boating.
Oh, I love that.
Camping and fishing. Okay, Lynn, when and where can we view you guys on the RV show? So I left the link down below if you have not seen the contestant reveal video. We are just super grateful. Number one, RV Unplugged for inviting us to be on the show. That's number one. And then the fact that we were able to announce now.
Yes.
Because we were really worried.
We're
Oh my
gonna just
gosh,
be
we're going to
vanished for 3
disappear for
weeks.
3 weeks, no live streams, and you guys aren't going to know what happened to us. So we were glad that we could do that. So the contestant reveal video is down below. We begin filming next week. The show will air in May. It will air on RV TV and on RV Unplugged's YouTube channel.
And they also have it's also going to be on Roku. There's supposed to be a.
That's all like
yeah.
RV TV. Like
Mhm.
will be on the easiest place is going to be to
Their
watch
YouTube channel.
RV Unplugged's YouTube. So that's where you're going to watch it. And so that the show will air in May, with the final season finale being in August, which will premiere at the rally. They're going to have like it's kind of like Survivor, where they had today's the final one and they would bring them all live and reveal the winner.
Last 2
They're going to do the same thing. And the rally is open to anybody that wants to bring an RV and RV at the rally.
It's going to be in Margaritaville.
So it's Margaritaville in Central Florida. And so we'll be there, like all of the cast members will be there, and then they're going to use that to draw contestants for season 3.
Yeah, so that if that is something that you'd be interested in, maybe you're an RVer yourself and you're like, hey, I'd like to be a contestant myself in a future season, you can try out for that. They have opportunities for that at the finale, which is cool.
Tom said, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep you to our keto community. I love you both. See you at Or. Listen, keto is always our first and foremost. And we've had people ask us this weekend, how come there's not a lot of camping videos? We have full intention always to upload camping videos, but keto is our first and foremost priority. So you guys get 5 videos, sometimes more, sometimes it's only 4 a week. Our goal was always with that once a week. It's more like once a month.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on it. We've got some that I just have to edit. But again, when you only have limited time, and we're like, keto is the priority. That's the health priority. And so don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
No.
Our goal is just to get more of them to come to us.
Right?
Trista dibs on a visit.
Oh yeah. We're really excited about that.
Trish said, we live 20 minutes from Niagara Falls. Beautiful filming opportunities.
Boy, howdy.
I said, well, phones. We will be allowed to have phones when I understand. We have been told we will still be able to work. There are some YouTubers, not all of the contestants are YouTubers, but some of them are. And I know Wayward Wags has a YouTube channel. You have us, a couple of them. We've been told we will still be able to do some work. It's not quite Survivor where you're cut off from society. My understanding is we don't have to earn food, but there will be some rewards that are extra food, probably stuff that we don't eat.
I'm really thankful that we already do things that are like shelf stable. Like we have, meat chips, we do beef jerky, we make our own hot dogs and like meat sticks, and we're going to be able to bring along keto chow and keto brick. So like all of the things that we eat all the time anyway, I think is going to help us also. And you think about long days of taping, a lot of physical activity.
That's what I'm counting on.
And I feel
because all the carb addicts are going to get tired.
I feel very confident that, we will have stamina in this, which I think is awesome because of the fact that, we are always focused on protein and we're going to have good, healthy fat. And I think that if you're trying to push yourself in any type of endeavor, having clarity of mind, because of the way we eat, not having to deal with, the inflammation, I think is going to be great. Yeah.
So we've been told we'll be able to do some work. We just don't know when we'll be able to do some work because it comes down to filming as priority. They said a lot of the filming is going to be early in the morning. But if anything else, they may want to catch, we need the sunset, we need the sunrise. So it's going to be whenever we have an opportunity to work, we will do our work and stuff like that. Barbara said, we just started watching season 1 of RV Unplugged. You're really going to be challenged through this adventure. Your 2K experience of a lifetime.
Thank you very much. And really tickled to be able to share it because that was the thing. And we're total like unknowns in this space. And so people were like, well, we're sorry, you won't have anybody to be able to really cheer for you. And so to be able to share it, we're like, no, we've got a family that's like going to be rooting for us. And I think that's really special.
Sandy said popping in a little late, but I think this is the first live I've been able to catch.
Welcome.
Hello from frigid Northeast Iowa.
What is going on with these temperatures? Like, it is crazy how cold it's been.
Tom said if it was rainy season in Florida, you would have a problem. See, that's what I'm hoping for. I want conditions that we're used to.
A humidity.
Right.
And
that's
like
what
heat.
I want.
Like, because
I was joking. I probably shouldn't say this in front of Rachel, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was joking with some of the people at the Today is Someday get together that, listen, I already won. Because the reason I already won is I got a new truck out of this deal.
Right.
Because, see, this was originally supposed to film in Athens, Texas. And I said to Rachel, there is no way we are going to be able to drive our truck, a 2-wheel drive gas engine truck from Florida to Texas in February. That even if there's no snow in Texas, there's a chance we're going to hit snow on the way and have to go through mountains. And oh, by the way, that will cost us a fortune at 7 miles to a gallon. Like, I was just not looking forward to that. So she's like, okay, well, we can get a new truck. And then I get a new truck, and 2.5, 3 weeks after we get a truck, we're said, hey, we're moving to Florida. So I won.
Yeah,
I
got a new truck.
Right.
Well, but we also, like, we're so excited now that we do have a 4-wheel drive truck. We can take the truck to other states. So we will be going up the East Coast later this year. So let us know as we get ready for that trip. If you
I can already tell you, we don't know when,
East Coast,
but I can already tell you one of the stops will be Savannah, Georgia.
Definitely.
That we already know where we want to stay. Okay. So we will definitely be stopping on that trip. Once we figure out the dates and everything, we will be stopping for a day or 2 days in Savannah, Georgia.
And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who stopped by the Tampa RV show, or Florida RV Super Show, that we've gotten to visit with. We've had just a wonderful time meeting up with everybody, and it's been a fun, just like, I love visiting and then also seeing cool things. And there are so many different RVs here at the show. I always like finding out what's new and innovative in this space, and really something for everybody. So it's been really fun.
Matt said when I was in the Navy, we didn't have shower capabilities. We used baby wipes
too. And I love how you air quotes that, right? Like, shower. Let's call it a shower. It was a baby wipe down.
Adrian is here.
Hey,
I so wanted to pick Adrian's brain on the cruise about being on a reality show,
right?
But like we couldn't say
anything yet.
She said if you don't know, Adrian was actually on Biggest Loser season 3.
She's the biggest winner.
She said we lived in our camper with 4 kids and a friend, so 7 us from May until November. This show is going to be fun to watch as a fellow RVer. I did not know Adrian was an RVer.
I love that. That is so cool. And boy, that's something, as we look at different RVs here at the Super Show, when you're thinking about, like, some things look cool, but you wonder, can I live with that? Like, you'll see a layout that is just a beautiful layout, and you're like, boy, if I was only staying here for a weekend, like a hotel room, this would be great. But is it practical when it comes to an extended stay of some sort? Like, and that's something I'm always looking at because space is a commodity. And so we'll see things that look really cool, but let's say it's a bed that you have to unfold and then it turns into a sofa or something else. And you're like, well, that looks really cool, but do I want to get up every morning and turn this bed into another different
I don't want to make
space,
my bed, period.
And then vice versa. In order for us to go to bed tonight, I've got to, like, change up everything. So it's kind of funny.
FNP Feel Good said, I used 3 pounds of meat in my lasagna instead of 1.75 pounds, and I used deli meat noodles. Lunch was a double barbacoa taco bowl, lots of protein.
So
somebody saying, I've never used deli meat for noodles. So we actually have a recipe. It's called our meat layer lasagna. And you'll see in it, we actually take deli meat and then layers of provolone and then more deli meat. You can do it with just deli meat.
Yeah, you can. You will not know.
Actually, did we release the lasagna video?
Lasagna video? You mean the
lasagna
Real
bowl.
Good Food one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I can't tell, but it's coming.
But Real Good Foods has a lasagna bowl, and their noodles is meat.
Now,
and it works really good.
But I'm telling you, that meat layer lasagna is so good, and overwhelmingly the response to it is everybody that like gets fed to never realize, unless you tell them that it's weird how much that especially chicken and turkey will mimic a pasta and just kind of absorb the flavors of cheese and tomato.
By the way, if you are new here, Thursday live streams are a chance to hang out with everyone. We decided to come on early tonight because we know next week will be the last one for a couple weeks, and we wanted some time to hang out with people and answer questions. But if you have a question, it could be anything, but usually keto, carnivore, anything like that, go ahead and ask. You can ask anything within reason.
Or without reason.
No, don't say that. Like, we'll get weird questions.
I don't think so.
But go ahead and ask your question. The easiest thing, type question and then your question, because we're on a different system because I'm obviously in the RV, so I can't see everything. Andy said that video was hilarious. Rachel taking out the trash. Okay, so we got to tell this for those of you who missed the live the other day. I don't know
how, like, that was the weirdest thing because they were like, you're going to have to trash talk.
We get on and they sent us an email and Rachel's like, I'm not talking trash. And then we get on for the Zoom call to do the announcement. And they're like, listen, the show starts now. So talk some trash. The show starts now. And they're like, we're not telling you to fake anything, but like, say how you feel. And Rachel's like, I can't talk trash. And he goes, okay. And I'm trying to be like, hey, I eat meat and this. And Rachel's like, I'm just going to take you out with the trash. And I'm bench front. I'm like, who are you?
I didn't know what to do. I got too excited. And so then I started just like, here we go. But fortunately.
Like, what was the comment to the vegetarian? Well, we're vegetarians. And like, well, our food eats your food.
Well, what I was very happy about is that we were the first ones to talk. So there was no person that I was just talking to. Like, I think if it was, you could tell on my face that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, ouch, like that hurt, you know? So, cause I don't know how to talk trash.
Donna said, is RV Unplugged on TV or YouTube? So it's going to be on RV TV. And then it'll be on YouTube. Listen, a lot of shows now, they're just moving to YouTube.
Isn't that
funny?
Know,
because like it's more people watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Caleb,
our son,
and Caleb doesn't watch TV. He doesn't even watch movies. He just watches YouTube. So they went and got a lot of big sponsors. They got large manufacturers of RVs, like RV Mattress is a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Lyons Rd is a sponsor to pay for the production because they did bring in a full production. This is not Rachel and Joe running around with cameras.
I think they brought in a director. Survivor,
yeah, they brought in a director and a producer. Turns out the producer is a carnivore, another thing on our favor, right? So they brought in some big people to do this show professionally.
Yeah.
So last season was the test run. They're already making plans for season 3 and season 4. So it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, for us, you know, the RV community, we want to introduce them to getting healthy, whether it's through keto or not. Just kind of open up the door for like, hey, we can, you know, listen, everybody loves meat in the RV community. You see hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks. How about you get to enjoy that? Eat that.
If one person, I mean, we are gonna make a fool out of ourselves. Y'all know that. I mean, I'm not going to look cool running. I am not going to look cool probably jumping or swimming or anything.
We don't know what's coming, but I have a feeling there's a poop challenge.
So, well, not like competitively, like who can poop the most. No. I mean, it's just like maybe black tank
I might be able to win that one.
But my thought is, if we could help one person even consider changing some of the things that they ate, you're talking about possibly helping to provide longevity for them. You know what I mean? Like help them to get healthy. Even consider it. One person learns about keto that didn't know keto before the show. Like, to me, that is super important to me. Like, that is, I'm very passionate about that. And I will do anything to make sure that somebody has an opportunity to learn about the way that we eat.
Matt said, we had such a great time yesterday, such a great day of community and learning more and more about RVs and finally figuring out what
it
type
was
we
so
want.
nice. We got to meet Ghost in person. And I will say, it has been like a fur baby central around here. So many different people have little pupsters with them that go RVing with them. And I'm amazed at how well behaved all of these fur babies are. So many different breeds and ages and sizes. And I mean, you don't see them misbehaving. Everybody has been, it's been delightful. Like, all the little doggies, it's been so sweet. And I will say that even though Ghost is a puppy, he did really well. I think this was even the first time that he was like on the leash, and he did great.
Jeanette said, question, I've been doing on and off for a year. I think I'm adapted now, but I'm feeling fatigued. Is it because I need more electrolytes? Some of it might be because you're going on and off of keto. Every time you go off, you're going to affect your fat adaptation. It takes about 6 months to get truly fat adapted, where your body can bounce back and forth. But your body doesn't need sugar. Okay, it doesn't. Anybody who says your body, you need to consume sugar, that your body needs carbohydrates, doesn't know what they're about. And I'm fine to tell them that if they want to ask me. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Does your body need a touch of glucose in its blood at all times? Yes, it does, but it can make it. Okay, so you never need to consume carbohydrates or sugar, ever. And I know people say that's not true. It is true. There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. So every time you go off, you're kind of messing things up and your body's kind of reverting back to, oh, sugar. Sugar is easier. It's faster. That's why your body will always revert back to, if you give it glucose, it's going to use that first. Number one, it can't store as much as it can store for fat. But also the thing is, it's easier for it to break down. But what happens is you consume it and then you get tired because you go through it quickly and you're not as fat adapted. So it takes some time to get your fat. But if you're sticking to keto and you're getting tired, two things. Number one, you're not eating enough food. And number two, electrolytes. You'll find, especially if you are eating enough food, sodium is your friend. Most people are under eating sodium. You need a lot of sodium. I look at like Robert, he's consuming like 10, 12,000 milligrams of sodium a day. Like, you need sodium. So if all else fails, if everything else, you think you're eating enough food, you're staying keto, you think you're fat adapted, try increasing your sodium. Let's see. Andrew said, little did you know that your recent cruise ship game performance was a warm-up for the RV show.
Right?
Well, it definitely demonstrated that we will do anything.
Literally anything.
Right? Because, like, we made a fool of ourselves. Yes, we made a fool of ourselves in front of, 500 people. But, like, and now it's going to be on a YouTube thing with a whole bunch of people. And then you guys are all going to have it. And then you're going to share it. And like, yeah, it's a big, but listen, I put her dress on and dirty danced with her.
We have no more dignity left. It's all gone. It's left the building. Oh, Linda, thank you so much. As a fellow RVer, I'm so happy for you. Thanks, Linda.
Jennifer said, better late than never. I just got sprung from the hospital.
Glad you're home, Jennifer.
Andy. Rachel and Joe, I guess I'm late. I'll catch up.
We just came on early to make sure we had time to visit.
Terry said, I can't wait for you guys to get to New York State.
Yay!
Let's see.
Ooh, JJ.
JJ said, I just reserved my room at the Galt House yesterday. Keto Palooza 24, here I come.
Yes. I can't wait to see you.
Keto Palooza 2024, getting ready to open tickets.
That Galt House is nice.
Tomorrow, I think, or in a couple of days. So
that Galt House is nice.
It is really, really,
really nice.
Joe, hi all. Looks like things started early. Yeah, we decided to come on early, but we're still going to go to our normal time. Just got the calendar notification from bottom of the hour start. We'll catch up afterwards.
Glad you're here, Joe.
Faith wants to know, will you be coming near Charleston, South Carolina? So we haven't, again, all we've decided is we are going to drive up the East Coast. And I know we're going to stop in Savannah because we want to stop at the same place we stopped at the last time we drove to New York on the way home. It was Creekside.
It was nice.
It's an RV resort right off I-95, so we definitely want to stop there. Other than that, we have not planned anything. We need to get through the TV show, and we need to get through Vegas. That is our priority. Get through the TV show, get through Vegas, come home, spend at least 3 or 4 weeks home, and then make a plan for a trip to go up the East Coast. I would say probably the very end of April, beginning of May.
That was my
right
thought.
But we also have to remember low carb cruise after that, and so probably right around there, probably last week of April, first week of May, head up. Maybe we want to see my mom, but take a week or two going, and it may not be the only trip for the summer. We may do another one in the middle of the summer, or somewhere like July or something like that. But this is our plan to moving forward once or twice a year. And aside from doing the 2KK getaway cruise and conferences, doing at least one RV trip somewhere where we can do a couple of meetups along the way. This year, it's just going to time in with go visit mom, because mom doesn't want to travel down, on a plane and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. White lasagna. Janice said, I watched RV Unplugged, and they said you will definitely get to shower every day. I don't know. Even talking to them today, it depends on what kind of shower.
What shower are you looking for?
Right. What kind of shower? You know what? It doesn't even matter. I don't care. I was a Boy Scout.
Fortunately, there's no smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
So as long as nobody can smell us through the television set, and we can stand each other.
Some of y'all are great though, because a couple people guessed RV Unplugged 3-4 weeks ago.
I know.
I'm sorry if it was you, but I had to delete the comments because we
share it.
We were not. We're under a non-disclosure agreement, and we were not allowed to share it. And so when we said we have an announcement, and someone goes, "I think you're on RV Unplugged," we didn't want to get it going, so we deleted the comment only for that reason.
Donna Jo says, my dad will have to watch this show. Him and mom were full-time RVers for 3 years. How cool.
Debbie wants to know if anybody wants to share a room in Keto Palooza in October. Debbie, go ahead and put that in Mighty Networks.
Yeah, because so if you are going to some of the upcoming conferences throughout this year, and you're traveling singleton, and you just are like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to share a room. People share rooms, people get Airbnbs together, all kinds of things to make the travel more affordable. And then if you find out, maybe you meet somebody through a local meetup, and that we met Chris Miller, and then we started caravanning to different things together. And we're actually here at the RV Super Show, and Chris is right there. She's in the RV right next to us. So it's just nice. And it also was really nice when we traveled together up to Keto Palooza 2 years ago, where you had some safety, because you're kind of traveling together.
We drove to a hurricane.
So it's just been really, really nice to be able to travel together. It makes it more fun, and you have somebody to eat dinner with and visit with during the day. It's really, really nice.
Chris said, Keto Palooza, man, I still got to get ready for Metabolic Health Summit in Tampa, Florida next week. I got to get ready for packing. I don't even know what to bring next week. They haven't even given us a list of what we can and can't bring.
I'm excited to see Chris, but we're going to get to see Chris.
Well, I'm going diving. We're going diving with Chris and Miriam and them on Tuesday.
I
pray for good weather.
Yeah. Oh, I hope it's good weather, because it's been very spotty.
Yeah.
For January.
Oh, we haven't gotten a couple of things. Are we going to Metabolic Health Summit? Our plan originally was to go to Metabolic Health Summit, but because of the way this schedule has fallen, we have to be at filming by Sunday. And so what we're going to do is we're going to skip Metabolic Health Summit as much as we wanted to go. But just the fact that we have to be there on Sunday, we have to get home We're going to be changing out our couches before we leave, but we're going to go home, and then like we're going to be home for 4 days before we have to turn around and leave again. So we may come up a day early and just stay locally so that I don't have to drive on the day we have to show up. And it's just like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Right. We need a little bit. I need to be home. I need to see the boys for a couple of days.
Just
right?
a minute.
Hopefully we could somehow arrange seeing Peyton in there as well. Lolo said,
hey,
Rachel
Lolo.
and Joe, I hope you can get to Virginia and the Hampton Roads area.
That.
Hopefully then I can meet community near me.
I would love that. We love Virginia.
Mimi said, my whole family likes the meat lasagna from Too Crazy Ketos.
Thanks so much for anytime you guys try a recipe that we've put out there and like just, shout it out on your social media. It blesses our hearts so much. Like, thank you so much. We don't take it lightly that you even try our recipes. Like, thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it.
Chris, a question, Too Crazy Ketos. Why did you agree to drive back from Tampa to go scuba diving and then have you drive back to Tampa again? Crazy people. A couple reasons. Number one, because we love spending time with you guys and we wanted an opportunity to take you diving. Number two, we want to go home and see the kids anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of like when we could have stayed up here for a week, but fortunately, like now that we have our truck, which you never named the truck.
I've not named
the truck. You named the RV, but not the truck.
I have not.
But now that we have the truck, it's not so bad. I don't have to stop for fuel. Of course, I did change out the fuel tank to a 60-gallon fuel tank, but I don't have to stop for fuel. We can make it on less than a half a tank of fuel, like the whole drive. So it's not that big of a deal. This has been great prep because although we made the decision to not turn the electric on. They're running solely on battery power, and it has been great. Though we have not needed the air conditioner, we've been watching television. We have been running the heat.
I was going to say we've been running
which runs on propane, but it still uses electric as well. We've been using our microwave, our coffee machine, Rachel's blow dryer, the lights on, watching TV all night, hot water heater. We've been doing all of that. Every morning we've had more than 80% battery. And by the time I get back, even though it wasn't even sunny today, the solar is charged to 100%. So that aspect has gone well. And we haven't even used a quarter of our water tank. And we've been taking showers. So
we have. I've been trying to conserve and like figure out how to do that.
So it's been a good dry run. Like at least I know
trial
battery wise, like if there's a competition for how long can your batteries last, I think we'll win. Because even like I was talking to people, they're like, how did you do what you do? And I'm trying to explain like our setup because we haven't put the videos up. We were waiting for the videos for the RV Unplugged announcement. Chris is kind of who turned me on to the way we did it. And they're like, oh my gosh, like you overdid it with batteries. And I'm like, my wife doesn't want to be hot. I mean, don't want to be she's hot, but she doesn't want to be temperature hot. Right? Ola said, I just got chocolate mint keto bread.
It is really good. Now I like two flavors. It's really good.
Trish has a question.
Hey, Trish.
I need some kind of concentrated protein that will work within beef, butter, bacon, eggs, since I'm having a very difficult time eating close to 100 grams of protein each day. Any ideas? Okay,
dehydrated.
So why are you having a hard time eating 100 grams of protein? It's really not that much protein. That would be my first question. It's like a pound of ground beef, right? A little bit
over the day.
So it's really not that much protein. But where I would go, if you're really going to struggle that much because of volume, where I would start is dehydrated eggs. Not dehydrated eggs. I'm sorry.
Beef.
Dehydrated beef or our meat thins because you've taken all the water out. So now it's less volume for the same amount of protein. If you're really having a hard time, if you're having a hard time getting 100 grams of protein, are you getting 100 grams of fat in? Which again, that should be more. You shouldn't have to be measuring anything. You should be eating until you are full. 2 or 3 meals a day. You shouldn't even be counting, So if you're really having a hard time getting in protein, add more egg whites. Although I usually tell you to throw out egg whites, I add a couple more egg whites, but eat a couple more eggs. So an egg yolk is actually 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of fat. When you have the egg white in there, it actually increases it where you have more protein than fat. And listen, all the nutrition is in the yolk, not in the white. But add a couple more egg whites if you're having a hard time. Jennifer said I need to get through my element so that I can try salty.
Yeah, it's delicious. Definitely salty is coming with us. I'm very happy. That's another thing that I feel like we have a competitive edge, because I don't think most people have their eyes on electrolytes. I don't.
Or they're drinking Gatorade.
Right.
I hear people all the time, you need Gatorade. No, you don't.
I'm really thankful that you think about, if you have to do any type of endurance thing, to be able to, like, us to be having the potassium that we need to, like, go to sleep when you need to go to sleep, and having the magnesium that you need. Like, I'm looking forward to that.
Joanna said, I'm always on YouTube. Why don't I know about movies on YouTube? Maybe because I live under a rock. No, we're not talking about movie. I mean, there are people who put movies on YouTube. He just watches, like, I look at Anthony, like, he watches things like Good Mythical Morning and stuff. I think that there is better entertainment on YouTube now than on, like, the old broadcast TV shows.
Well, what I think is interesting is that it is very, like, your particular interest based. So I like the fact that you can zero in on, like, what is something that you find really entertaining. And I think you can find a YouTube channel that is very specific to that, like, as specific as you want to be, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it really comes down to that's why you see more companies wanting to sponsor YouTubers, because they can get directly to the audience. So you look at, like, Brooklyn Bedding, RV Mattress. We could throw it out and run a bunch of just paper ads and things like that, and maybe put things on TV, or you can go directly to the audience that would be purchasing your product.
Right, like an RV mattress. So, like, going to a camping channel it's smart advertising.
John, did you call the cruise line to find out about a handicapped accessible cabin for the December cruise? I have a call into them because there are some handicapped accessible cruises. I'm trying to get them to give it to me for the 2 Crazy Ketos rate. So that's what I'm waiting for. If I don't hear back from them by tomorrow afternoon, I will give her a call back. But it doesn't show up when I look in the group, but it does show up if I go outside of the group. But then you're not part of the group, so I just need her to get them to adjust something for us. But I will let you know as soon as I do. I know a couple people have filled out applications or filled out the registration forms. I will get them processed. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of your room, but I will get them processed probably this weekend. We're going to go home a day early so that I can do some extra work. Joanna said my brother would travel in his RV with his 3 cats.
Yeah,
they were all well traveled.
So Chris, actually, they have a cat that they're traveling with. They have Coal Miner, which is a dog that they have in their rig, and then they also have Avery, which is a cat. And the animals get used to it. Our fur babies just want to be with us, right? Like, they just want to hang out with us. And so having, like, special spaces, Chris is brilliant and very handy too. So she's created some really fun spaces for Avery, their cat, to be able to enjoy traveling on the road and feel like you still have a home base, like it feels very homey for the cat.
Jennifer, what chicken breeds do you have? I love seeing them and hearing them in the background. Chicken mom over here. So most of the chickens that we have are called golden comets.
They have,
and they're also called red stars. It's a sexling crossbreed. And if we were to get more chickens, which we are not because we have too many, one day when we have a farm, for us, I think they are the best chicken for a backyard flock because they're
prolific layers.
Pretty quiet. They don't scream when they lay. They lay a lot. So on average, I think they're bred to lay about 300 to 315 or 20 eggs per year, which is a lot of eggs. For Florida, they are heat tolerant. And so I think that they're super friendly.
They're a heavier breed, so they're not, like, skittish or flighty.
Yep.
We do also have some Brahmas.
We have a couple of Brahmas,
which I like.
I would never have again.
Well, I like them visually, but the ones that we've had have not been the smartest.
They're also
chickens.
not quite as friendly.
Yeah.
And Rachel wants pets. And then also they don't lay as well. And then we have 2 speckled Sussex, which their eggs are a lot smaller and they are loud. Like when on search, people are like, "Oh, they're not loud. They're quiet." That is not my experience. They are, especially one of them is like constantly screaming. Don't like that. And their eggs are small. And then we have a couple of Easter eggers, which I probably would never get Easter eggers again. Again, if you want something that's going to come to you and friendly, because they seem kind of sketchy. Now, those 2, I will give them the benefit of the doubt, is that we have always been very hands-on with chickens when we get them as babies. Rachel's carrying them everywhere. They're always around us. And it's because of that, they're super friendly. The 2 Easter eggers that we have, along with one other one, they were being raised in our bathroom. I know, we're weird. And they were doing well. And then we got COVID and couldn't get out of bed for a month.
Literally.
This was in 2020.
Could not
and
lift our heads.
So they didn't get the same treatment as the other ones. And once we got sick, they just didn't come to us as much. But still, like, they don't lay nearly as much. Like, I haven't seen a green egg in like 4 weeks, so, but I love the golden comets.
The golden comets, also known as red stars. It's a mix between a Rhode Island red and an Orpington. And both of those are very good layers and really friendly birds.
Okay, ride. Every keto macro calculator I look at gives me different numbers. How do I know how many calories, protein, and fat I should be eating? Okay, number one, we are not big proponents of calories because, listen, a calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. So you can't go, well, I'm eating 2,000 calories a day, but 90% of those calories are protein. You'll stall. You won't lose weight, okay? So you have to look at grams of protein, grams of fat. That's what we like to look at. We don't like to look at overall calories because you're going to get someone go, well, I'm eating 2,000 calories. Okay, well, what do those calories consist of?
Are you getting nutrition in those calories?
Eating a Built bar is not the same protein as eating beef. And also, the calories in that fiber that people like to deduct, it should be counted if you're going to count calories, because your body is doing something with it. Whether we want to believe it or not, your body is doing something.
Stuff is happening.
Especially the weird fibers. The fibers you don't have to count is the ones God made, like vegetables. Okay, but I would count it all. We have a video coming out about that. So grams of protein, grams of fat. Like I said, start off a minimum of 100 grams of protein. A great way to look at like a roundabout is take your ultimate goal weight. What is that stupid number that the doctor says that's how much you should weigh based on a chart that hasn't been updated since the 1970s? Take that number. That's your ultimate goal weight.
Use that for
that. Eat at least that many grams of protein and that many grams of fat. That's a good starting point. Okay. A great starting point, 100 to 150 grams of protein, 150 grams of fat. You might need a little more fat, but those are good starting points. But the best thing to do is follow the Dr. Berry method, which is you're going to eat 2 or 3 meals a day until you are full. And then you're not going to snack. And that will work so long as you're not eating a bunch of junk. If you're focusing on meat, if you're eating meat and some vegetables, mostly meat, your plate should not be 80% vegetables. Your plate should be 80% meat, maybe 3 or 4 sprigs of broccoli or cauliflower. Don't use broccoli and cauliflower and asparagus to fill you up. Fill up on the meat. Oh, I want to taste that. Have that.
Entertainment purpose.
Like, not 7 cups of lettuce. Fill up with meat first. That's where you want to focus on. You're going to do that 2 or 3 meals a day. You eat till you're full. The more keto treats, mug cakes, fat bombs, things like that, that's where you're going to have to start counting. But if you're not eating that stuff, if you're not buying Chalk Zero and you're not going to the store and eating a bunch of keto breads and things, you should not have to count anything because you're not going to be able to overeat the meat. It just doesn't work that way. But the more if you snack, you're going to have to look at that. Every time you eat, you're going to have an insulin reaction, and you cannot lose weight in the presence of insulin. Hopefully that helps. Anything else here?
Let's see.
FMP Feel Good said, I got my creamy, but I just have a big bag of chocolate toffee. About to get a surprise box, but I'm not crazy about banana.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, people have different preferences.
Right. Lori, please tell me when you're going to be in Vegas and where at live an hour. I live an hour away in Needles, California. So I don't remember the exact dates. I can tell you the dates. But if you go to lowcarbevents.com, that will have the Vegas conference. We will be in Vegas. I still have to get my plane tickets. We will be arriving on sometime on Thursday the 14th. The conference is on the 15th and the 16th of March. Oh, wait, it's wow. Is there any chance that we can abolish daylight savings time in the next 2 months?
Probably not.
Do you realize that we are going to Vegas with a 3-hour time difference and we are coming home on daylight savings?
Oof. I'm going to have to make sure that you
spring forward. So wait, we'll most likely be on a flight that leaves at like 11 o'clock at night and lands in Florida at like 5 or 6 in the morning. And then we lose another hour because it's spring forward.
Can I stay with somebody until after daylight savings time? Because I don't want to really travel with you during that because you'll get surly. You get surly.
Why? Because it's time to get rid of the time change?
I know. So I'm just going to stay with someone until after.
You can stay with Dave.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's when it will be. It will be that weekend, the Vegas conference. So the Vegas conference is very different than past conferences that we've been to. The Vegas conference, number one, is completely tax deductible. It is to benefit the Citizen Scientists Foundation, and you can get entrance into the Vegas conference for as little as, I think, a $25 donation to the Citizen Scientists Foundation.
That's pretty incredible.
Which is flipping awesome.
It is.
Right? And then you have all of these doctors like Dr. Barry and them coming out on their own dime. Okay, they're not being paid. Nobody's paying for them to fly out. Nobody's paying for their hotel. They are flying out on their own dime to help with this benefit. We are flying out. Our flights are costing us a fortune. It looks like we may even be driving to Orlando to then fly.
Because it might be cheaper.
You have people like Chris Bear volunteering his time to do all the AV work. And so I'm sure I will be jumping in and helping him with that. So this is a great cause. And I'm telling you, like, what was your analogy? This is like going to this conference is you're going to look back in a few years. Like I was at Woodstock. I was at the very first Citizen Scientists Foundation conference that is going to completely, in my personal opinion, change medicine. I think the Citizen Scientists Foundation is going to change medicine forever. I really do. And so if you can get there, get there. FMP Feelgood said, sounds like something hubby might like. Maybe a banana nut bread with a banana.
That's nice. I enjoy, like, we have a banana pudding that's really good.
Okay. Sandy said, I guess you're going to find out all the stuff they do to make drama on reality TV. Trying to say whatever happens, it won't be personal.
You can take it. I know that there will be challenges to that. And so, yeah, we have to, I have to keep the mission in the forefront of my mind, that the whole reason for getting up in the morning,
it has nothing to do with winning. It
is
has nothing
serving
to do with
others. Yeah. Like I really want to be a blessing to others and just make them think about maybe changing what they eat. If they just consider it, like right. I will think that it's a great success.
So Anthony, our middle son, is a huge reality TV fan,
especially Survivor in particular.
Survivor and Big Brother. Those are his deals. So he called me this morning and he was like, Dad, you're going to see some of these contestants this weekend, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like,
the
alliances start now. And I'm like, what? And he was like, the alliance. He's like, go talk to everybody, buddy. I'm like, Anthony, I can't talk to people I don't know. He's like, the alliances start now. So Rachel's like, hey, act like we don't know anything. And I'm like, yeah, but if it's a team, we need to make them want us on their team. Like, I don't know how to do this. How do you make somebody want your running team but not make you think you're a threat? Like, how do you accomplish that? Like, hey, I'm going to really benefit for the team, but you really want me? But also don't worry, because when it comes down to me versus you, I have no shot. You're going to, how do I do that? I don't know how to do that. Like, listen, I am who I am. I'm a loudmouth who.
I'm last to talk.
You just talk trash from day one. Let's see. Debbie said from the Ketopalooza website, $169 plus 1014 sales tax, service fees, goes on sale January 24th. Awesome. Yep, that is the date that. And now, okay, so I'm going to put that up there. We have a discount code. I believe it is 2KK, which will save you money. So that's real important. But ticket sales go on sale the 24th. I think they go on a day or 2 days early if you've been to Ketopalooza in the past. Let's see.
Andrew says if you're in the neighborhood, swing through Nome on your victory tour. Thanks, Andrew.
I'm looking for more information about Chris is so awesome.
There's a question.
Sarah G said Wisconsin would be a great place to travel. Great diving at Double Lake.
Too.
Mimi said, question, are you going to be at the MC Baltimore area? We have not been invited, so I have no idea. I don't even know when it is. We haven't been invited to attend or anything like that. So as of right now, no. The answer would be no, because I don't even know when it is. We haven't been invited to it. Carmen said a 2KK camping experience would be awesome.
Would be fun.
I would totally be down for it. So we were actually talking about that coming back from the get together with the Today is Sunday crew. And this is something that I thought was cool that like we're gonna steal from Stacy and Phil.
Reappropriate.
And that is they have little engraved name tags. And then each time you go to a meetup, so you get one when you go to a meetup with them. Mm-hmm. And because I was like, where's my engraved name tag? Like, I'm a crew member. And she's like, yeah, but you haven't been to, like, we've been silent supporters. Right. Because I believe in what they do. They donate money to the military, so anyway, they have this name tag, and then each one you go, you get another one. And so there's people like, here's a badge, and it's like all of the different meetups they've gone to.
We're totally doing that.
And I said to Rachel, like, listen, we're doing the cruise getaways, but I also want to do camping. Like, that would be cool for people who maybe in camping, like, do like a 3 or 4 day like rally.
Yeah.
With camping.
Have little camping. Yeah. Take this on land and sea, and then in the air.
Yeah. So we're trying to have a lot of different ways to have meetups. So attending a conference, just driving and going like, hey, if somebody can arrange something like in a restaurant or something like that, the cruise. So we're trying to, and then of course we have you guys that are like actually coordinating weekly or monthly meetups. And that is what we're trying to do. Jennifer said, I'm sharing a room at Ketopalooza with a gal suggested by Dawn from Dawn Does Keto. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Chris said, Chris, Miriam, Holly, Steve, Joe, Rachel will be going scuba diving. And Sam. Don't forget Sam.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joanna said, I made keto chow ice cream in my Vitamix. First time last week. I used too much ice. It was a little icy. I'll try again tomorrow. But it was pretty good. I used pecan sticky bun with fresh pecans.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah, just cut down on the ice just a little bit. I find it's easier to add ice than to that issue. D King. Thumbprint cookies with chocolate keto chow are delicious, but I won't make them except for a few times a year because they're so good.
Thank you for
Rachel has been given saying, do not make those for a little while.
Thank you for trying them, though. That makes me feel so special.
Jennifer said, my family loves the cornbread muffins I make from your corn dog stuffler recipe.
Thank you. I enjoy that, too. I really like that. It's got a good sweet cornbread taste.
Renee said, we love making taco salads with your homemade taco seasoning recipe. My husband is starting to be on board, not just to support me, but for his self and his health.
That is flipping awesome. Uncle Big Guy.
Jennifer said, I had a cardiologist researching on Keto Child's site today. He was pleased with the clean ingredients in electrolytes and magnesium.
That's awesome.
Here's the interesting part. So I forget her name, and I'm really sorry if you happen to be watching. But we were talking to a lady today from the Today's Sunday crew, and she does keto. She's actually even stricter, like almost like stricter than carnivore, because she has MS.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing: she was in a wheelchair, and keto got her to walk.
I mean, it's amazing.
And we're not making health claims, but she was like, the only thing I did was go keto.
Was change what I was eating.
And what was sad was she said she went to her and said, I'm going to do this. And he said, I think that's a great idea, which is awesome, right? But she was like, but why didn't he, if he knew that this could help, why didn't he recommend it?
Yeah.
And I would probably answer. I don't know the answer, but I would guess the answer is because like he's not allowed to recommend it. Because if he does, then he's going against standard medicine practices, and then they try to revoke diets. Because now you're recommending something that most people don't agree on, and the next thing you know, they're pulling your medical license. I would guess that might be the reason.
But it's really nice to see that there's more.
At least he was accepting of it, and
that are cheering her.
She's walking.
Yeah.
Right. And she was like, I don't need the wheelchair. And she was like, listen, sometimes I do things that I shouldn't do, but I can feel it. But she was like, she just avoids preservatives and all that stuff. And she's like, the seed oils, no, they're bad for me, so I avoid them.
And to see her loving her life and enjoying traveling now and not being, limited in her travel is really nice.
Lynn said, got my Brooklyn bedding mattress last week.
I just love it. What a difference. I will tell you, like, we always sleep really well when we go camping. Even Joe, sleeps really well. I think there's just a natural campsite, on down, and so you just go to bed. It's nice to have a really nice mattress to get that good night's sleep.
Chris said, Ruth has a shirt saying, if chickens can wake up in the morning screaming, so can I. Nice.
Accurate.
Sabrina said, have you guys purchased the RV Trip Wizard site for long hauls? It's a great tool after you get to figure out how to manage it. First saw it watching Phil and Sissy a couple of years ago. We had something like that, and fortunately for us, our RV is low enough that we can fit I think we can fit on any bridge, so I don't worry about can I fit under the bridge as much. I know how tall I am, but so because we're not driving a fifth wheel, it's not as big of a deal for us. But when we do long hauls, we always have something we have open roads for our fuel. We have RoadNet, which I actually have to go over to the booth and renew because I get it every year. It's cheaper here at the RV Super Show. So every year I go renew it at her booth because it's 20% off or something like that. And that is roadside assistance for RVs.
Oh, Sandy's got a great question. I miss a nice warm cup of hot chocolate. Any ideas for a low carb replacement? Definitely salty. It's great. They've got
or keto chow,
but I think about I enjoy that, and I'm getting my electrolytes in, but they've got a chocolate version and a caramel chocolate version. Really, really delicious, hot, tastes really good as a warm chocolatey beverage that's also got a sweetness to it.
And somebody in the group the other day said they've been mixing it with coconut milk, coconut cream, and it's really a really good hot
super
chocolate.
Tasty.
Yeah, Amanda, I hate time change. Just pick one I don't care which way we go. I know that there's arguments one way or the I don't care which way we go.
Pick one.
Just stop the time change. There is zero need for the time change. Zero need. It's just time to get rid of it. And now it's become a political thing. We're going to go back and forth. We approve it. Well, we don't want you to win. So we say no. I mean, it's nonsense. More, especially the spring one, there are more accidents, suicides, people late to work, all of that with the spring one. Joe said before lockdowns, I would be in Hawaii.
Wow.
When daylight savings time started. Thankfully, Sunday wasn't a travel home day, so less of an impact.
Yeah, because that's a long trip to have to make with it.
Jennifer said, you think these would be easy to find with all the computers out there? What are we looking for? I don't know what we're looking for. I guess I missed one. Yeah. So who is this?
I told Joe this morning.
Yeah.
Andy says, be the examples that they want to emulate. It'll be a great experience. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, it's always nice to be able to like be the friends. I think that that's important.
Donna Joe said we never watched Survivor, but we loved Amazing. I loved
Amazing Race.
That was a great show. I don't know why we just busy. Well, we got rid of TV, so that it doesn't help when like you don't have television in the house, just YouTube and a couple of other things. Tasha said, "Have you guys gone to DC yet?"
We have never.
Not with our channel,
not with our camper,
like
not
that.
with our camper.
I mean, I've been to Washington DC tons of times.
I love it.
I love it. Let's see. Jamie said maybe I should make a keto on keto. Pronounce the same.
Keto on like a food?
That'd be cool. Frankie said my cardiologist didn't recommend keto, but when I told him I was doing keto to lose weight, he was pleased.
Great.
I really do think, and again, I don't know for sure, but I would guess that they're afraid of losing their license if they were to recommend it when it's not considered like standard practice.
Well, you think about like what is
especially a cardiologist.
What's a heart healthy diet look like? What is a even a diabetic recommended from like the ADA diet looking like? Like it can be challenging for them to recommend it.
Jujubee said when they thought I had MS, my rheumatologist recommended strict keto. Nice. He was very specific on whole foods, not junk keto. Yep. Joanna said, my friend has MS and mostly in a wheelchair. Unfortunately, she won't try keto. I think she's depressed. She's had MS for over 35 years.
Very challenging.
God, since it is so hot here in Northern California, and daylight time. Cheryl likes the time change here in North Canada. We'd be sending kids to school in the dark. It only takes a day to adjust.
Caleb was always like that too. He goes, I feel like I'm never seeing daylight when he was going to school in his senior year, and it was like 6:30 in the morning. You're going to school in the dark.
I always went to school in the dark. There's always a time when you are, but I don't like the dark at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Like some of our schools, like the middle schools here, don't get out till 4 o'clock.
And then he said,
and then they're coming home in the dark, and then they don't go outside after school to play, and then they get fat.
No sun. So he's like, I feel like I'm Dracula,
right?
Never getting any sunshine.
Well, we hit the end.
Yeah, look at this.
Ola said my uncle is a cardiologist and told me to stick with keto.
Yay!
He said my labs are great.
Janice says I watched every Survivor, just like Anthony. Anthony has watched every episode.
He's watched every episode and watched them more than once.
And says and feel that winning challenges is key and stay on the down low as a know-it-all. Be super helpful. Yeah, I think that is definitely my strategy. Like help the group win the challenge. If you do, we don't go to voting.
Right.
Like that is the goal. Win the challenge.
I said, so you need to get them to want to be on our team, on their team.
And now. I definitely, I think
we need to show we're beneficial to the team, but not too beneficial.
Well, I was going to say, like you're saying, don't be a know-it-all. Right. And I think that sometimes, we can be challenging because you're trying to be helpful, but when does helpful become like over? Like you don't want to come off as a know-it-all,
right?
Like that's going to be the challenge, I think, because you're going to want. I'm looking at you, friends.
Well,
because
telling somebody I'm going to take you out with the trash.
Joe, I didn't say that to somebody specifically. Like you're the
everybody.
person.
You said it to everybody.
I think it's going to be a challenge not to want to be helper man.
It is absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
See, right now you're trying to be a know-it-all, and I'm going to vote you off this island.
Okay. Juliana, Joe, do you count on pure allulose now? Like if adding to coffee? Thoughts? Okay. Again, we have a video coming out. It was going to be a 5-minute video, and we decided this is too important to be only a 5-minute video. I believe that you should count all carbs, except for possibly the fiber that is in vegetables. And I don't mean buying like dehydrated vegetables. I mean, you go to the store, you buy a head of broccoli. If you don't want to count that fiber, be my guest. The broccoli is not the problem. Your body is not using that fiber for fuel. God made that fiber. But any other carbs, whether it be the soluble corn fiber that is in something like Chalk Zero, or the fibers that they're adding into breads, which is why they're putting them into bread so that you deduct them, or your sugar alcohols, whether it be allulose or erythritol, I believe you should be counting every single one of those carbs, whether or not your body is actually using them. Okay, so listen, there's lots of studies, and I actually agree with them on allulose, that allulose has all of these benefits. I think that's great, but I think you should still count the carbs because it has calories. And one way your body is using, if it's having an impact in lowering your glucose, it's doing something in your body. It's not whooshing through your body. It's not corn that you can eat it and it comes out looking the same, right?
Yeah.
Or
totally.
nuts. You ever notice nuts do the same thing, right? So the reason you should count it is for two reasons. Number one, you don't want to overdo it. Number two, you don't want to overconsume whatever it is in. So if you go, I'm not counting the carbs in allulose and erythritol. The next thing you know, you're having a ton of them. I can turn 200 total carbs into zero net carbs, no problem. Years ago, we used to eat smart cakes. They were delicious. They were zero net carbs because they're made with fiber and erythritol. Well, they have calories in them. I think it was 70 calories a cake. And so I could literally eat 10 packages of them,
and
which would be like
it didn't happen.
1,700 calories, I think is what it came out to be, something like that. And it was zero net carbs. Number one, all that erythritol is going to get you sick. Number two, it's doing something. The other problem when you're not counting, especially things like sugar alcohols, like allulose or erythritol, something like that, they're usually in a treat, okay, like a fat bomb or a mug cake or a piece of keto cake.
Or some baked good.
What else is in there? Lots of fat. So if you're only, and a lot of people only count carbs, so you have something, this piece of cake is 200 calories, it's 15 grams of fat, but it's one net carb. So that means I can have 3 pieces of cake and it's only 3 net carbs, but you just consume 45 grams of fat.
Right.
That's the real problem. And then if you look at total carbs, like you're probably somewhere already around 70 or 80 total carbs. So I would rather you increase your total carbs to say 30, but count the carbs in everything. Like allulose. I love keto chow. Keto chow is made with gum acacia, which is a phenomenal fiber, and it really helps your gut health, helps your gut biome. It actually helps your body create ketones. I think you should count the fiber.
You're never going to be disappointed.
The worst thing that's going to happen is at the end of the day, you consume less carbs than you thought.
Right.
That's the worst thing that will happen.
Less math.
And you deprived yourself of maybe having more than one treat. That's not a bad thing.
No, you're gonna have more success.
So, we're a little passionate about that particular subject. Denise said, my friend's trigs were 300. Her doctor told her fat causes hydrigs. He's wrong. I told her that is bull. We pulled up Dr. Barry's video. She researched and said, I think you're right. Carbs and sugar are my problem.
Wow, that is great. Way to go. Just like pointing her.
And thank you for pointing her to Dr. Barry.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't know, but and people respect physicians. Like, listen, I don't know everything, but there are plenty of doctors who do know and have seen the results. I can tell you my experience and what I've seen with other people. GGB said, good deal. I absolutely count fibers. I was confused on the allulose thing. Thanks. Again, it's not going to hurt you to count it.
Yeah.
I know that you're training with Coach Nat. And so, if she goes, well, don't eat more than 20 total carbs, that means if you're going to have something allulose, you could probably have one. I look at, if I'm going to have a treat, whether it be, a Quest peanut butter cup or something like that, I won't allow myself to have more than 13 or 14 total carbs from that, which would still leave me with 7 to say 25 total carbs to come from my liver, which that's never happening, my coffee, my eggs, if I want to have vegetables, anything like that. I still have plenty of carbs to consume. I allow myself one treat if I'm going to have it. But what it means is I can't eat 2 packages of it. And then that won't derail me.
Jennifer has a good question. So why is corn bad for you? If it comes out looking the same as it goes in?
Because it comes out in the same shape, but your body pulls all of the starches out of it, which is starch is sugar. So it looks the same, but your body still does pull all of that sugar out of it. Lolo said, same here. Same here from my doc. My numbers are good for blood pressure and A1C. He said, keep doing what you're doing. Doesn't know what I'm doing
and didn't care to know. That's really interesting perspective, but we'll take it, right? That's a win.
GGB said, I am looking for a salmon marinade or teriyaki sauce. Baked goods don't happen here, but I'm super appreciate the outlook. So the best, if you're looking for a store-bought marinade, the best one I've ever seen is from, what's that name?
From G. Hughes?
G. Hughes. There was actually another one, but I've never seen it again. It was like Guy Gone Keto or something like that.
And it was like a
teriyaki.
We saw it once and then never again.
Yeah, but G. Hughes has a good one.
Yeah,
you can usually find
it's a teriyaki marinade.
Amber said, congratulations on being a contestant. I'm definitely going to be rooting and watching. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you so much. We need it.
Janice said, good luck on the RV channel. One of your contestants eats only sugar, so try to zip it.
Yeah. Gotta keep.
Believe me, they were using that to talk trash. Like the one lady, when she made the comment, she was like, we're from Nebraska. Like, we invented keto.
Right. No, you got to keep your mouth shut. That's going to be the hard. I mean, I'm going to have my own unique challenges.
Right.
But I honestly think not trying to be Professor Joe that's going to be your biggest challenge, because you're going to be like, if you see somebody, like, let's say I'm
pretty good in our personal life. When somebody asks me here.
Chris knows. Chris is here.
When somebody asks here, that's one thing. But if we're like, believe me, with all the people, like the people I dive with and they eat and I like so badly want to say something, but I don't.
If somebody,
when you ask is different. That's my problem.
No, here's where I see a challenge. Somebody's trying to put together a small engine, some kind of like something where there is like, you have to have a way to do things. You got to put this puzzle together. It's going to be really hard on you to just sit on your hands if you're not supposed to be lead at that moment. For you to be like, if you feel like you know a more efficient way to do something, but it is not going to be.
If you gotta win, you gotta win.
I know.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see it, but I feel like that's going to be a challenge, because you're going to want to be helpful.
Well, it depends on what the challenge is. I watched last year, and there were people like, because they didn't take the lead, they lost. Right. So you have to find the right thing. Like, they lost because they could not do, they didn't know, they couldn't figure out how to do the solar panel challenge, putting together a solar. And what was it? Because nobody told them to tighten the nuts. If you don't tighten it, you don't have a good connection. You're going to have to tell them.
It's going to be threading the needle. That's what I know.
It will be threading a needle.
Threading a needle. Like.
Oh, Jujuby said I was going to make it. I have pure organic allulose and would just make it.
Oh, nice.
But wanted your thoughts on
tracking. Cool. Yeah.
Let's see. Debbie said, strange sitting here and not talking to Kara. Already brought her to boarding earlier today, so really alone except for you guys.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, but pretty soon you're coming to Magic Kingdom. You're coming to Disney World, aren't you? Like, so it's the calm before the storm, because then you're going to be like, traveling with the family, enjoying all of the happiest place on but you're gonna need to rest up, because it takes a lot out of you to do the fun parks. That's why they say there ain't no sleeping like after a day at a fun park.
Yeah, Jennifer said, I'm so intrigued. I've never seen the show. Well, last season was the first season. It was kind of like the test run, and it was very, very successful. Paul said, you need to find the balance. It's tough to speculate on stuff like this at this point, but in the moment, you're going to know what. So it's funny. We were talking to Phil, and he was like, he has to, because even they don't know, and they're the coaches. He's like, last year we knew the challenges. This year we don't, because they brought in producers that can help bounce off. We should do this. So he's like, as coaches, we don't know what the challenge. He's like, all I know is I was told I have to get down to 225 pounds or less, and he's there. And see, I didn't tell him. I wanted to tell him. He's like, I need to be at this weight by Sunday. And I want to say, I can tell you how to do that. All you got to do is between now and next Sunday, don't eat sugar, because he'll drop 4 or 5 pounds of water weight, right?
Yeah.
I didn't tell him though. I'm telling him now.
Good job.
But I mean, I wanted to. So Phil, I got the answer for you. Just eat meat for the next week.
Yeah.
And you're going to drop 4 or 5 pounds of water weight because he eats sugar, right? So that would be the answer.
Glycogen stores.
But I did not tell him in person. I'm just telling him now. But I don't think he's watching.
Very good job.
Thank you. Can I have a kiss for that? Okay. But he is speculating. He was like, I think they're gonna make me jump out of a plane, right? And he's like, I don't want to jump out of a plane.
He has no idea.
And he's like, Stacy likes to jump out of a plane, but I don't want to jump out of a plane. And I'm like, he's like, I have to jump out of a plane. But he has no idea. Like, why do I have to get to? So even he is speculating on, like, all I know is Matt from Matt's RV Reviews comes up and he sees us and he gives us a hug. And he was like, listen, I'm going to give you another hug because I can't tell you what it is, but like, there's a challenge coming that's kind of like my design and you're not going to like it.
I'm like, oh no.
As he's handing us a bottle of his black tank cleaner.
I'm like, does this have to do with a black tank? Yeah. Now
you better go. You're emptying the black tank when we go home.
That's fine.
Yeah. Gotta get practice.
We're practicing everything to see if we'll use anything.
Right. Hopefully it's not like disassemble a black tank that's full.
Yeah.
Nan said, I have watched season 1 of RV Unplugged all afternoon. So can we tell you a little secret? Finished it.
I know, we've got to finish a couple episodes.
Tasha, Joe, and I are the same. I love to help people even when they didn't ask for help. It's hard to sit back, and especially if you know an easier, correct, or faster way. Yep.
It is.
Joe said, is this show on YouTube? Yes, it is on RV Unplugged. Okay, we're going to get off?
Yeah,
Jujubee said 225 is a common weight for ziplining and ropes courses.
So maybe we're getting some insights. We're trying to, like, we're going to create, it's kind of like when you're having a hypothetical discussion in the shower that you think you're going to have with somebody later on that day. You have you don't really know. You're just running all these scenarios in your mind. My strategy is take things one day at a time. Chris said, Matt's RV Reviews challenge, does it involve pooping in a really small bathroom with no elbow room? Like, possibly. Yeah, he's known for always being able to spot prime pooping position in an RV.
Matt actually sold us our RV.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to get off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have some videos coming out between now and Monday, and we will be back live on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Keto Be on the Couch.
We love you guys.
Bye.